Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? I am Big J, also known as Jefferson Kelly. Well, actually, Jefferson Kelly is my real name, also known as Big J. Alec, thank you for making
I
it.
know, just got in under the wire. I literally raced home. I've been waiting for a Sicilian pizza from we have like a real New York style pizza place here in town, and they make really nice Sicilian. So I got there at 6. I was like 4 slices of Sicilian to go, and they're like, "Oh, we don't do slices after 4." I'm like, "Okay, give me a small Sicilian, half the broth for Crystal." They're like, "Okay, it's going to be 45 minutes," and I'm like, "Shoot, okay."
Right.
So, and they were at 47 minutes past the hour. They handed me my pizza, and I bolted home. So, anyway, so I've not had any pizza. Alec is sad. It's waiting downstairs for me after we're done. But how's everyone doing tonight? JP, how are you, my friend?
I am doing well. Just
it looks like
doing
you your beard up. It looks like you.
I might have. I do that quite often.
Oh,
if I don't cut it, it grows, and so to stop the growing, I do cut it. So I've probably done that pretty recently. But I don't recall because I do it so often.
Looking good for a middle-aged white guy.
I try.
And Cheeto, how's the Lord Commander of all things Pop doing?
Lord Commander of all things Pop is doing well.
Yeah, matter of fact, after our last thing, I was so enamored with your pops, I started looking for some of them on eBay, and I just was like, I'm going down a rabbit hole I will never recover from.
That's what I did with Dragon Ball. I started with the Dragon Ball ones. I've got so many now. I don't. This isn't even all of them.
I've got. So. I don't know if I can. There's my collection up top. I don't take them out.
I still have cool collections.
I leave them up. I like when they do. I like them when they do like ones from I've got Roger Sterling from Mad Men, who I loved, Roger Sterling, right? And I've got Bobby from Billions, if you're a fan of Billions, and then I've got Lord Varys. So those are like the three guiding principles of my business life are Lord Varys, Bobby, and Roger Sterling.
Very nice.
So Jefferson, how? First of all, I want to really, first of all, welcome to everyone who's joined us for this live stream. First of many where we're going to be doing with multiple live streamees, as the case may be. So I want to thank Jefferson for setting everything up and for he's been doing a great job with all of our editing needs and all of our YouTubing, and I think we're going to be on an upswing for our YouTube channel as we approach the release of Axanar this summer, possibly. There's an interesting film festival in Hollywood that the team in Japan is helping out, so we might even launch at that one. But we're very, very excited. I think Cheeto has not, but Jefferson, did I share the editorial assemblies with you?
No, you haven't, and I've really been wanting to check that out.
I will do that. And JP, have you seen them?
I've seen some stuff when I was there a few weeks ago. I saw some stuff that was on the computer.
I'll with you guys. So, and as hopefully everyone knows, that we are wrapped with Axanar, which means principal photography is wrapped. 19 actors in the can. Which is a little mind-boggling when you think of it. I think we only had 6 for Prelude, and we have 19 here. It's all shot out. It's all with the VFX teams now. We've got our first teaser trailer going to be coming in probably about 6 weeks or so, I think. So things are going to start heating up. And then at the end of this month, Mark Edward Lewis releases the Icarus Maneuver, which is an Axanar fan film. That he did with, it's taking some of our old VFX and putting live action with it, and yes, so that's all very exciting. So that is coming in the month, which will be like the first new Axanar, real new Axanar since our trailer in 2019, which I think was okay, but it wasn't great. I think this will be really good. So anyway, yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. And we do have, if you'd like to show it at some point here during the live stream, I've got the behind the scenes video on the bridge set.
Why don't we run that as a starting point? So as people start drifting into the live stream, but why don't you run it right now?
Okay, all right, that sounds like a plan. So this one is just fresh off of the editing. So I'm gonna go ahead and
it's still wet.
Yeah, really. Hopefully I do this correctly. All right, hold on just a moment. Okay, it's synchronizing as we wait with bated breath.
It's going to happen. I know it.
We have an amazing crew also that manages the studio. And that team is led by Dana Wagner, who's in charge of this amazing bridge set.
Hi, I'm Dana Wagner. I'm a construction coordinator, graphics guy, care and feeding of the bridge dude here at Harry Studios. I guess I'm a co-producer on the Axanar film project. The USS Ares bridge set, wow. It has undertaken some profound transformations since its arrival here in Lawrenceville. I think it came here in May of 2017. I joined the team as a volunteer in August of 2017. My wife and I came in for a volunteer day and helped put the shell of the bridge back together into one piece.
He doesn't take enough credit. When this bridge arrived in 2017, it was bare wood. There was just the structure. There was no lighting. There were no panels. There were no televisions. There were no computer monitors. There was no touch panels on the consoles. It was all just bare wood.
We had about 20 or 30 volunteers there that day, and at the end of the weekend, we had it put back together, and but that was just the beginning of the story.
And so Dana and his team, which includes James Simpson, Paul Osborne, Jess Hobby, Scott Good, Dale Simpson. We just had some great volunteers who would work tirelessly. And over the years, we kind of spent 2018 and 2019 really getting this bridge to the state that it's in now. And a lot of changes along the way, which were amazing. They changed out computers, moved to Raspberry Pis.
We started out with Dell computers on the backside of the bridge, which we could power probably 7 or 8 of them before the breakers would blow. So thanks to James Simpson, who turned us on to Raspberry Pis. We now have every Raspberry Pi on the Wi-Fi network, and I can go in through a remote access panel and touch each of the Pis as needed and change animations. I can even upload a new animation while one is playing and then change it whenever I need to.
Changed out fluorescent lighting and moved to LED lighting.
We've installed LEDs under the deck. We have 3 rows of bulkhead LEDs, which really adds a nice practical lighting vibe to the set.
And really, they've just done an amazing job with this set. And now finally we have a big screen TV in the view screen.
We've put in a big 75, 80-inch TV up on the view screen. We're starting to work on some animations for that.
Dale Simpson is like my right-hand man. He's always helping with little things. Whenever I need something, he's got a pickup truck. He'll come and do it. Whether it's with the animal rescue or whether it's with the studio. And today's his 65th birthday. So happy birthday to our old man, We're all old at this point.
Dale Simpson. I'm director of security and a producer on the show. So the bridge came from California, and it has some dents and dings on the way to get here. It's been repaired, lovingly, painstakingly improved. Dana's done a great job replacing regular conventional lights with LEDs and making our displays look just fantastic. They look like they're interactive, even though they're, for the most part, are not. But when you get on the bridge, you actually feel like you're in a real environment, a real setting, and it's truly amazing. It's almost overwhelming when you see it.
So listen, thank you so much for supporting the studio. We love it. We love our Patreon campaign, and we thank you all for all the hard work that you guys put in to keep this place going. And hopefully this year we'll be breaking ground on our own studio and not have to pay rent anymore and be able to have our own studio. So in the meantime, thank you once again, and live long and prosper.
All right.
All right.
There it is.
Well done, Jefferson. That was a nice little video.
Thank
That's
you. I
it.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really great. And then also the bridge looks beautiful on the screen, but it pales in comparison to actually being there. I mean, if you ever worked on a movie set, a sci-fi movie set, which usually has the bridge of a ship, you go onto it and it looks like the bridge a little bit, but you look around and you can tell you're in a studio. Not with the Ares Studio bridge. With this bridge, when you are on it, you feel like you are on a spaceship. There's very little in the way of spoiling that effect when you're there. I mean, you can look in one corridor and see that the rest of the studio is out there outside the corridor, but otherwise, everything 360 degrees, you are on a spaceship. It's amazing.
I had never been on a set before, and that was the first time when I went down to see the principal photography wrap a few weeks ago. Down there was also with JP. We were just going around recording, getting as much footage as we could, trying to stay out of everyone's way, which was tough because me and JP are big guys, and so trying to have light cat paws weaving in and out. But it was quite an experience. And I sat in the chair, got some pictures there, and even the consoles on the chair. Don't know if those were iPads or tablets, what those were, but even those had animated graphics and things going. So there was just no detail that was spared there. It was very immersive. You really felt like you were there. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, it was good. Let's say hi to a few people. We have Rodrigo from Brazil. Hello, Rodrigo. It's good to see you. And then John Vandenbroek from Torquay, England. So, geez, all over the world. I love seeing that. Curtis Tate, Brian Simpson from Ventura, California. And then right up the road from Brian Simpson in Ventura, we have Sam Wise from La Jolla. No, he said Jaloja from Santa Barbara.
There you go.
Think of that. If he was from La Jolla, you could say Jaloja from La Jolla and only have 4 letters used.
Or do Jaloya.
Jaloya. Nice sound like you do Jaloya. So hey, Samwise, how are you? There's Sturm. Yes, Dana is the man, the myth, the legend. Alexander Richardson is here from Scotland. So boy, we're really getting the overseas contingent. Daniel says, so he's the Boothby of the production. Yes, he is. He is that. He is a lot more. He is the Scotty of the production as well. So we're very happy to see him.
And I'm in the mood for pies after listening to the video and know the editing on it. You guys talking about raspberry pies. Now I want pie.
It's got to be raspberry pie.
I'll take
I don't know
it.
if I've ever had raspberry pie, but I'll take it right now. We have Kevin Scott from Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama. Great museum there. Yeah, that's a really great museum. If you haven't been there. Yorkshire Koi. Get it finished, for God's sake. Tell us about it. Dude, we're the ones who've been working on it for 10 years. Give us a break here. We know, believe me, we know what it's like. This summer, my friends, this summer. John Tesler is here as well. So, and Mark Lawrence. Mark, I sent you a message about your uniforms and you didn't get back to me. So get back to me. So we got a bunch of different names, and I know what we're doing this time, thanks to Jefferson's adept handling of our StreamYard, is we're broadcasting to the Beyond Trek podcast channel. We're broadcasting to NerdTube, which is Cheetos, and we're broadcasting. Where else are we broadcasting?
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. A couple of Facebook groups there.
That's and what we also have. No Budget Productions, which is Vance's group. So yes, we're trying to. There you go. But by the way, just another piece of bookkeeping that we should talk to you all about is where we have a chapter of Starfleet International. Starfleet International is the largest Star Trek fan club in the world, with like 214 chapters around the world. Well, we have a chapter here in Atlanta called the USS Ares. Of course, they name all their chapters after ships, and so we encourage you to join it. It's only $10 a year, $14 for a couple. And we encourage you to join it, become a member of our ship. Starfleet has all sorts of great educational programs that you can take for free. And as you take them, you rise in the ranks. We just had a whole bunch of promotions for the people that were signed up. And so if you're watching this, go to sfi.org. and sign up for the USS Ares Region 2. There's two USS Ares. We're the Region 2 one. And join us. This summer, Starfleet International is having their annual conference, which I've known about for 30 years. I first joined Starfleet, believe it or not, when I was in law school in the 1980s. And I still have some of my materials, their newsletter and stuff from there. But anyway, their annual conference is here in Atlanta, August 3rd and 4th. It's not huge, but it's like somewhere between 100 and 150 Star Trek geeks getting it on, cosplaying, having fun, drinking beer at the bar, and just it's a good old time. And what we're doing this year, since they've done their annual convention, is coming to Atlanta, we are going to be bringing back Axicon. If you were around in 2018 and 2019, we did the first two Axicons, which were a lot of fun, little conventions at the studio. So what we're doing is, that's what we do. We talk you to death. And you're still alive, so I guess we're going to talk some more. But it's coming out this summer. Pay attention. You're obviously not signed up for the newsletter. If you were signed up for the newsletter, you wouldn't be asking that question. So sign up for the newsletter. So let me talk some more.
Stay in the know. Sign up for the newsletter.
Sign up for the newsletter. So we are doing Axicon August 2nd and 3rd. The convention, the annual conference, Starfleet annual conference is the 3rd and the 4th. So the 2nd, Friday the 2nd, we are having an open house at the studio. You are all welcome to come, play on the bridge, take lots of photos. We'll have the captain's quarters set up as well. It's already been, the walls are all up and everything, so that'll be ready. And then Saturday, we're waiting to hear back from the awesome team at Starfleet. We are going to be inviting a bunch of the actors who are here, based here in Atlanta. We have 7 actors here in Atlanta. And so we're inviting them all to come and sign autographs at the Starfleet convention. It's a lot of fun. If you have a Starfleet costume, any Star Trek costume, wear it. We're going to be getting together. Right, Sublight, you need to renew your membership. Your membership expired, bastard. You cheap bastard. Put the $10 down, renew it, and since you came previously, we'll even promote you from a crewman to a lowly ensign. But it's a start. Then when you come down to XCOM, we'll promote you again. So that's it. So So check out sfi.org. Join. Like I said, it's only $10, $14 for a couple. When you go to fill out your information, you'll see a scroll bar and the chapter. Just scroll USS Ares R2, and there you go. And so hopefully, as many people as possible come. It will be it's just going to be a grand time. And we'll, at the very least, if we don't have action already released by then, we'll at least have a really cool trailer for you then. So there you go. So anyway, JP, what is happening with the Orville? Give us an update.
The Orville, we're just waiting to hear officially from a studio or something that it's been renewed for its 4th season. It has not been canceled. It has also not been officially renewed, where we, the fans, will know. But Seth MacFarlane himself said, when asked just a couple weeks ago on a podcast about season 4 of the Orville, he said he's working on it. He also said it's not canceled. Scott Grimes, who plays Gordon Malloy, said it's not about if, it's about when and where. Wow. So it's going to happen, but it's just not going to happen on a schedule any of us Orvillians want it to be on. We'd of course want it sooner, but also, things are better. Things come out better the more we wait. They're able to put it together the right way.
When was it that season 3 ended? It hasn't been.
It's been over a year.
I figured it was a couple years easily.
Not a couple years, but it ended. Its last episode was out, I think, at the beginning of maybe the end of July or the beginning of August of last year.
Was it really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's still getting more. It's getting newer and newer fans every single day because I keep track of it, and every day I find multiple posts and comments on my channel about, I just discovered the Orville, just started watching it, or people that rediscovered the Orville. The audience is getting bigger and bigger still.
Well, that's spectacular. I know I can't wait for the 4th season, and hopefully it happens soon, because I don't like seeing a long gap in between seasons of a show.
That's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about it, just because I know the longer we wait, the bigger the buzz will be, because that's what happened with season 3. Because between season 2 and season 3, because of the whole COVID pandemic, it took 3 years. It was 3 years between seasons. And when season 3 hit, everybody was there for it.
Yeah.
Even the people said, I'm not going to watch. It's taking too long. They were there watching as well.
Yeah. What a shitty reason not to watch something. It took too long.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not in production right now, but Seth is trying to get it into production. And Seth is very powerful in Hollywood. He's a very powerful creator. When he wants something, he gets it. And
you would think so with all his successes.
Yeah.
You think that they would just set him up and say, whatever you want. Here's the checkbook. You write your own checks and make whatever you want.
Yeah, the thing is he's got a lot of things on his list that he's trying to get through so he can get back to the Orville.
Yeah.
The new TED series on Peacock, which broke all Peacock records for their original programming. It blew everything else out of the water. It is the highest premiered series on Peacock ever. Did really well, but also it didn't take long to put that show together, because basically the hardest part is making the animated teddy bear, but everything else is just normal filming. So no, he's not real. That's actually all computer generated. But it didn't take them long to put the first season together. So I'm sure there'll probably be an order for a second season from Peacock.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I don't think that would delay the Orville. at all.
No, that should. Facebook user says, "Is the store close?" I assume you mean closed. Yeah, it is right now, but it will be coming back. We had to separate it out. Long story. It's coming on a different platform, so just stay tuned. Again, subscribe to the newsletter. If you're subscribed to the newsletter, you get all the information, and if you're not, you won't. So subscribe to the newsletter and get all the information about what's happening with Axanar and everything Axanar related. Cheeto, what's new in your world? What are you up to these days?
Oh, I mean, just doing the normal. We're doing our weekly podcast, the Highly Illogical podcast on Thursdays, gearing up for Discovery. We're going to be doing Discovery reviews when Discovery comes back. Every Friday we do our World's Gone Insane podcast, which is kind of like everything under the sun. We talk about politics, games, movies, media, celebrities, like anything. Like we bring up everything. It's usually like a 3-hour podcast, and we just bring up. I'm hit or miss to be there because it just depends on my schedule. But we usually have a good conglomerate of NerdTube contributors in there. And in early April, we're gearing up for our Debate-a-mania. Actually, myself and Jefferson just recorded some stuff for Debate-a-mania in April. So we this is actually our second Debate-a-mania. We did one. We did a Debate-a-mania back in, I think, September of last year. And so it was so successful and so much fun that we decided to do another one. So that's coming up right around the time of WrestleMania. We figure we could piggyback off the popularity of WrestleMania. And we're still doing our normal fan film reaction stuff. We're going around reacting to fan films, pretending like we know what we're talking about. So that's kind of what that is literally like my plate is like overflowing right now. So, I'm just trying to keep up. Plus I do my gaming stuff. I have a gaming channel. I keep myself busy.
And what are you doing gaming wise?
Oh, I play retro. I'm actually playing retro Star Trek games. I'm playing Star Trek Armada right now. I played on the channel 25th anniversary, Judgment Day, Birth of the Federation.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, what else have I played on there? I played the new Resurgence when it came out. So yeah, and if anyone's into wrestling, I forgot, I have Zam in the comments section. Dark Side of the Ring, we're also doing that too. So we're a variety channel. We do everything like under the sun, as you can probably tell, and we rope in anyone that we can get. So we like collaborating with so many people. So
awesome. Jefferson, what's happening up in where you're in Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, that's right. Yeah. Going through the Cincinnati experience of 70-degree weather one day, and then the next day it's 30. So we're in that time of year right now. And otherwise, for me, it's been kids, sports, sports and activities going on, and doing podcasting stuff, doing the editing for different Axanar videos, and managing there in the YouTube channel. And I've also been starting up doing some more fan film work. I've been talking about it, about getting in myself. And after spending a couple months on and off talking with Vance Major and Frank Parker Jr., getting some hints and ideas, and also from you, Alec, wanting to get into it, I created a character for myself. His name is Preston Sisko, who is the great grandfather of Benjamin Sisko. So this is a character that is new. Sisko's line in the show only went so far back as his father. So I kind of backtracked as to how far back do I need to go to have a character that's around the TOS timeframe, which is a lot of fan films are based around. And so I did that, had a really good reception, have recorded some scenes for a couple different films, have some more coming up. So it's been pretty exciting to finally get into it myself. And so, got my uniform, got, a couple uniforms in there ready to go. So I'm pretty excited about it. So happy to throw my hat in the ring and start being in some fan films myself. And got a couple scripts of things that I've written, and I'm roping in my son and my fiance on some of this stuff, and my best friend told him, you guys, and also one of the co-hosts with Beyond Trek podcast said, you guys are going to be my victims as well. I'm writing a film, and we're gonna get into it.
Very good. And Cheeto, you guys review fan films? Is that?
Yes. Yeah,
One of the
we do
things you
fan
said-
film reactions. We go in blind. We have not seen the fan films, and we just go in and we watch them, and we critique and or praise the films based on, just our thoughts. Like, we react to it. It is a raw reaction. We don't go in with any pre-planning, just, hey, we're going to do this one, and then we do it, and you get our raw reactions and we rate it. So sometimes fan films get high praise. Sometimes we give them some critiques and say it needs a little work. By no means are we professional fan film makers, but we are definitely fan film fans. So we do all sorts of them. We do Star Trek, Star Wars. We've done Indiana Jones. We've done Lord of the Rings. If there is a fantasy genre out there, there is fan films for it. We've even done John Wick. There's John Wick fan film out there.
Way.
It's
Wow.
called John. It's called John Thick. It's a comedy. It's It's one of the funniest by far, I think, of all. But
I'd love to say. I do want to answer this question. Clark Unglued says, "Is the Axanar set wheelchair accessible?" So the studio definitely is, and if you're in a wheelchair, the bridge set is not wheelchair accessible. But if you come to Axanar, there'll be plenty of us that are more than happy to lift you up the 3 steps to get your wheelchair onto the bridge. So that's not an issue whatsoever. We would love you to come and partake. So there is definitely there's definitely those of us who will be more than happy to give you a lift as it is. I was gonna say, of the Star Trek films, what are you give me a couple favorites that you guys have reviewed and seen that Cheeto that you like?
Oh, I mean, last year, our fan film of the year, we had our award show in December, and Crisis on Infinite Excaliburs was fan film of the year, voted by all of us.
Yeah, that was great.
See, hold on, let me bring it up. We've done over 170 fan films at this point. So
wow, holy crap! And there's a lot of good Star Wars fan films too.
Oh yeah, we've done Obi-Wan. Well, I think it's called Kenobi.
That was good. That was good.
We've done what was it? It was a Han Solo one. Hold on, I'm bringing up our playlist. But yeah, over on our playlist on NerdTube, we have a whole fan film. We've done pretty much every single Avalon Universe one. We've done either live reaction, live premiere reactions, or we've just reviewed them, later on. But yeah, that we did the Star Trek. There's one called Galaxy Queen, which we loved. It's a comedy, but it's a Star Trek. It just beautiful, beautiful comedy. We've done Marvel and DC ones. If you want me to ramble some off, I pretty much can.
Sure. Yeah, tell us. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm bringing up the list here.
I saw Galaxy Queen. That was an interesting one. And you're talking about Star Wars fan films. I think one of my favorite ones is the Darth Vader versus Batman.
We did that one too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because of course Batman would go up against Darth Vader in a lightsaber fight. And of course he didn't make it easy for him, because he's Batman.
Yeah.
Silly
That's
old
my favorite
Batman.
friend Kevin Porter, who plays Batman in the Bat and Son productions.
Every Halloween we go through horror fan films, actually.
Wow.
There's Jason, Freddy Krueger. There's we did a werewolf one this year that was really well done. We've done crazy ones that are Sid from Toy Story. Somebody actually did a fan film based on Sid grown up from Toy Story. Yeah, I kid you not. I cannot make this stuff up. It is all on our.
Sid?
Sid, the kid with the skull shirt who was like destroying the toys.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like he's got this PTSD from like the toys when he was a kid. Like, you know, he's like mentally unstable, and like it's this whole thing.
Oh,
It's
that's
crazy.
funny. That's interesting.
Yeah, John Thick, which was one of our favorites.
Now, I would have thought that would be a Triple X parody right there.
No, nope. It is a comedy, and it is absolutely hilarious. Shrouded Destiny actually was a good Star Wars one that has the guy who plays Thrawn. He was actually in it. The what is his name? I don't remember his name.
The guy played Thrawn in season 2 of Ahsoka. I'm sorry, season 1 of Ahsoka.
But yeah, no, that actual guy is in it. And he also voiced Thrawn in the animated series. We've done Batman ones. I mean, we've done. I mean, you probably name a genre, we've probably tried to do it. So
musical.
We did do a musical, I believe. Did we? Maybe we didn't.
That's Lars Mikkelsen.
We'll have to. We even did a COVID one, like a COVID fan film. Yeah. So
is anyone a fan of COVID?
I don't think so, but
this is for all you COVID fans out there.
And Cheeto, that was Lars Mikkelsen.
When something piques our, we don't watch the films ahead of time. So when something piques our interest, we're like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
So
everyone relates to COVID, so it works.
Yeah, but by far, like Star Trek is probably the most, because that's what got us into it. Was Star Trek, the fan films. Mm-hmm. So I mean, our very first fan film we did, our fan film reaction we did was the Romulan War, the one that was based on it was kind of like a documentary of. Oh, God. It reminds me. The style of it reminds me of Axanar, actually.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Just like the documentary style. Go ahead.
I went through that and watched it. I wanted to see how they handled the Daedalus class. And I guess Sam Cockings did the visual effects for that. And I watched it, and I just feel really I'm looking for the right word, not ambivalent, but almost antagonistic that he used video from Star Trek. Like, first of all, that's a no-no in the guidelines. You don't do that, right? That was a no-no before the guidelines. Like, no one ever, thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, most people would know not to do that.
Yeah. So I thought it was a cheat, right? I thought it was a cheat. I thought, okay, well, you're cheating. You're taking someone else's work and incorporating it into yours.
They also use Babylon 5 footage.
They use Babylon 5 footage, and then they use and then there's random footage in there too, like of crowds and of stuff.
Phantom Menace, some stuff from there, from the pod race scene.
Was there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so I really have a problem with all that, like using all of that stuff and having Archer and stuff. And people say, oh, Alec, people who watch are like, oh, Alec, he just ripped off Prelude. And I don't think he ripped off Prelude. He used the same format. God bless him. No, people know me. I don't care. We are all storytellers, and we're all in some way telling the same story one way or another. So that didn't bother me. What bothered me was using all this other footage, because I think the VFX were certainly really good. I think he could have done a lot more with the narrators, with the people that were being interviewed, which of course is going to be exposition, but it's better to be exposition than to be using someone else's work. I think. And I think this kind of conversation is going to happen, obviously, so much more with AI becoming so much more prevalent in filmmaking. And I know there's another movie for Romulan War coming out, because I know Sam's been working on the visual effects. So I hope the second one's better. I was just a little disappointed in all that.
I've always loved, and the reason why I picked that one for what the first one that we did was, I mean, I love the idea of the Romulan War. I was so pissed when Enterprise did not get to that point, which they were for it. So that, I mean, that's why I kind of wanted to do that one, because I'm like, oh yes, the Romulan War, yeah, but yeah. Would you mind if I link the playlist maybe to our
No.
fan film reactions in the chat?
Yeah. Put it in. Yeah. Put it down. You can put it in the comments here, or we'll put it in the description, the show notes down below.
Okay.
Afterwards, absolutely, you can absolutely do that. Now, have you guys seen Squadron?
Oh yes, we loved Squadron.
I'm gonna. Matter of fact, here I haven't done this in a while, but I queued up the. I queued up.
Yeah, that was actually one of our first fan films that we gave. One of our first ones where we gave a 10 out of 10 for, because the set. I love the sets on Squadron. I'm okay with the TOS sets, but like when you can get a good TNG set going, like that's a little bit harder to pull off. And they did, even though, and I like how it was a little more compact. It felt more like that the military type.
Yeah. No, it's right here. I'm going to play that. If you haven't seen Squadron, let me play the trailer with you all. I'll turn on the sound.
You will command the whole squadron, and Minneapolis is going to be your flagship. Rear Admiral Nansen.
Our task is to take over the patrol in this sector and stabilize the situation.
When a chieftain is fighting in his own territory, it is dispersive ground. Ground on which we can only be saved from destruction by fighting without delay is desperate ground. On desperate ground, fight.
Bravo. I mean, they did such a wonderful job. That's my friend Jacob Hawley. And it's a shame they didn't do any more.
Yeah, I love the female Vorta villain. Like, she
great.
was we loved her so much. She was so good. And I mean, I think all of that's in like, is it Hungarian? I can't remember what. Slovakian. Okay. Yeah. Right. Like, so
the Czech Republic. They're from the Czech Republic.
Yeah. So like all of it was, and like this still, even with that, like even though they weren't speaking English, we were still really invested in it. And I mean, that's hard to do with modern audiences, if they're not speaking, so.
Yeah, we should do a watch party one night with Squadron.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I'd watch it again in a heartbeat. I love it.
Right. Yeah, let's do it. I'll get Jacob to come on, maybe stay up late one night and watch it with us. That would be, they're great. So okay, switching subjects here. I had I posted something because a news article came out that said that Lucasfilm has made $12 billion in profit for Disney since the acquisition. So I just posted, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And of course, you get people arguing about Disney. I destroyed destroyed Star Wars, whatever, which I don't agree with. Listen, we've probably all talked about how much we don't like the 3 sequels, specifically Last Jedi, and how problematic both Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker are. Yes, I wish they were better movies. What can I say? But that doesn't mean that Star Wars, that they have bumbled Star Wars, because first of all, I don't think Solo is that bad. People whine about Solo. I'm like, I've watched it. I haven't watched it through from beginning to end. I've watched it like 5 times, like a half of it 5 times. And I keep going, what's the problem with this movie? I don't get it. Go ahead.
It was new at the time, so the internet had to have its say, internet-wise.
No, this is the Star Wars fans wanted Harrison Ford to run around like he was pretending to be a young guy again. That's what they wanted. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite Star Wars movie of all time, out of all of them, all movies and everything, is Rogue One.
Yes.
I love that movie more than Empire, more than
Yep, I
Return,
agree.
more
I
than
think it's my
Revenge of the
favorite
Sith.
Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
Really?
Absolutely.
It is awesome. It is truly awesome. The Star Wars movie.
Hands down, one of my favorite Star Wars movies. One of my best favorites because I love Trek, but I also love Star Wars. But I don't like Jedi so much. That was so far removed, really, from Jedi, except for Darth Vader. That's why I really liked it, was because you got the fighters, the fleets. I was an X-wing TIE fighter kid growing up. I played those combat sims and X-wing and TIE fighter. Watching those space fight scenes and stuff. Oh.
Yeah, what I really liked about Rogue One, and I think this is, if you can pull this off as a prequel, then you've really accomplished something. But in Rogue One, towards the end, I knew that the whole data card and all that would end up in Rebel hands, but I was doubting it for a bit, like irrationally thinking, okay, I don't think they're going to make it. This doesn't, and they do. But it felt like, are they going to change something here? Because it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah. And that was something to accomplish, is when you know what the outcome is going to be, but you're still in suspense, wondering.
No, absolutely. That's good storytelling.
That was very good storytelling. And it, just Darth Vader in that hallway, all dark, and then the lightsaber.
Brilliant. Yeah, those were reshoots. That was not. Originally in there, and they felt they needed a different ending. The only thing I didn't like about that movie was Princess Leia. I thought that was too much Uncanny Valley. Where I loved Grand Moff Tarkin. I thought Tarkin was. I was like, I know it's AI, I know it's CG, but I thought it was really good. Leia, I was like, I didn't need to see her face. Like, we know it's Leia. Just have her facing out and go and have her give the order. Other than that, that whole scene with Darth Vader kicking ass is just so freaking good. It's crazy.
It also helped why the Rebel forces were so bare minimum in A New Hope. It really tied up a lot of loose ends in A New Hope that people had always been asking, and I think it did it so beautifully well. So I mean, that movie is definitely a reshoots can be good. Type of scenario where you hear a movie goes through a lot of reshoots, because Rogue One went through a lot of I think it went through 2 rounds of reshoots or something like that.
Yeah. Chris Reeves says, every time I watch Apollo 13, I'm worried about the heat shield. Yes, exactly. Right. We know it works out, but the storytelling is so compelling. Zamir says it was Dirty Dozen in space. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And I got to say, one of the nicest compliments I've ever heard was someone said, "Oh, Rogue One was the Axanar of Star Wars," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's thank you.
That's awesome."
Yeah, I can so see that comparison, because it's very down and dirty, and like in Axanar, it's you're in the Klingon War. The Klingon War is not going to be pretty, and that's kind of what the Axanar kind of makes you feel, is you're that down and dirty in the trenches war, where it's one-upmanship between the Federation and the Klingons. That's what I got from Prelude. All that from Prelude is this is one force trying to outdo another, and it keeps on bouncing back and forth, and that's how war is.
Yes,
just like in World War II, it's until we hit the A-bomb.
That could have gone either way.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel says, I didn't like Rogue One until after Andor. I found it to be a different movie. Yeah, well, Andor is a different series, right? Andor is Andor is like Rogue One, and then Andor is showing you a gritty, seedy part of the Empire, right? It's
and the rebellion. Well, the beginnings of the rebellion.
Yeah, and the rebellion is not the rebellion. We're not in Andor. You're like, whoa, what's going on, and who's going? And just since I like playing random clips, we're going to play another random clip because since we're speaking about Andor, Andor has, of course, what I think many consider the single greatest monologue in all of Star Wars.
I know which one this is.
You know what I'm going to play.
By the way, Andor, my favorite Star Wars series so far.
With good reason. There's no reason. All right, so here we go.
Calm. Kindness, kinship. Love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they set me on a path from which there's no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost. And by the time I look down, there's no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. Now, the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything!
Okay, just fucking brilliant writing combined with masterclass acting. Just that is why Andor. I mean, I read an article that's saying that how Andor was the best Star Wars ever, and it's certainly the best TV show. It's not the one I like the most, but it's certainly the best. Because I think beginning to end, that is just one brilliant piece of science fiction writing, filling in a part of the universe we've never seen before, telling stories about people that we don't necessarily like or are not heroes or whatever. So, and all the stuff in the prison, you're like, oh, this is kind of sucks. Now we're doing that, and we have to do a prison escape. But man, Andy Serkis, just by the end, you're like, God damn, that guy is good.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, he's good.
I like the series, but for some reason I found it kind of hard to follow at some points. I'm not sure what it was, but there were just some ruts that I felt like that I was in, where an episode would end and I'd ask myself, okay, wait a minute, what just happened? So
Go back and watch it again and see.
I might have to.
Yeah. JP, what's your favorite Star Wars?
The holiday special.
Oh God.
Can't beat it. Hands down, the best thing they ever put out.
Hey, the origin of Boba Fett, which every Star Wars fanboy loves, which I'm not a fan of Boba Fett, but still, the origin of Boba Fett is that special. That is the first place Boba Fett ever showed up.
Yep.
And there was some great music as well. So great groovy music, disco style.
And Wookiee media that probably should not be shown to kids.
Yeah, right.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, don't, I mean, you should.
I've been resisting.
You should see it. And don't wait for the holidays. You can watch it anytime you want. It's an experience for sure.
Holidays are depressing enough. I'm not going to throw that in with it.
Okay, so getting back to Disney, Disney in general, the big thing was, you keep hearing, oh, Disney's gone woke, and I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? What? I'm sorry, what does that mean? Disney's gone woke. I mean, you hear that about Marvel. Oh, Marvel's gone woke. What? I'm sorry, guys, and no one can explain that. What do you mean by that? It's like when people say Star Trek's gone woke. Star Trek's always woke.
Always has been.
If woke is awareness of injustice in society, well, Star Trek's always been like that.
It's a buzz phrase now. People just like saying it. Like it's cool to say it. It's what the popular people do now is using that phrase.
Yeah. And you know why they can't respond when you ask them what they mean is because they're going to say something they know is inappropriate in order to convey what they mean.
Yeah. I mean, and on NerdTube, like, we've been called woke sometimes, and so we would always clap back by saying just like yeah, well, we're woke squadron, like that, instead of rogue squadron, we're woke squadron, like it's just it is, and you're right, it is an inappropriate answer if they actually tell you what it means, and basically it's not seeing what you typically see on your screen normally. Like I straight white dude right here. But honestly, when I see something other than a straight white dude on my TV, I find it more interesting because we've done it that's how it's always been done. Cisco is my favorite captain. You want to know why? Because he's different. He's not Picard. He's not Kirk. He was badass and he did the thing. He just did it. And he was
badass once they let him be badass.
Well, yes, I mean, yes.
Once they let him be Hawk, he was badass. But
yes,
in the beginning, they were making him, white guy, but it didn't work. But
white guy with more melanin.
Yeah,
right. Well, yeah, they told him at the start that they didn't want him to have the goatee and shaved head because he would look too urban.
Right.
They didn't want the character to be too urban, so it's like be black, but not too black.
Yeah.
By the way, Jefferson, we need to talk to you a little bit about the,
Hey, this is my. I've tried. Now, believe me, I've tried different looks. I've gotten a lot of criticism, and as it shakes out, this is the one that always come up as the winner. Is the no hair and goatee. So wear it proudly.
Go for it.
Yeah, if it works.
Cheeto, I am totally with you. It's like I don't need to see more middle-aged white guys on TV. I'm 63. I've spent my life watching middle-aged white guys rule the TV. I do want to see, just like in my life, I like having friends who are different than me. And that's positive. I've always, even when I had my first technology company 20 years, I had a female COO, and that was awesome. Besides the fact that she was brilliant and she was great, but I like it not being a boys' club.
Yeah. Well, also to mention the original Star Trek, the original series pilot was canceled because they had a woman. They had a woman second in command.
They didn't like that.
And the word woke didn't exist back then, but it's basically the same thing. They got canceled for being woke.
Place is not on the bridge. Oh wait, but by the way, here's Uhura.
Yeah.
I don't that you had a woman on the bridge. It's that she was in a position of command of power, and she wasn't being sexualized. So it was like, what's the point?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The complaints about Disney. I listen when. It's like, oh, well, Little Mermaid's not black. Why the fuck not? What does it matter? Listen, 10 years ago, people said to me, well, there are gay. Are you going to have any gay? Is anyone in Axanar gay? And my attitude is always, well, I'm sure there are. It's not relevant to the story. I said, it's not relevant to the story. And it's really not relevant to them because it's 300 years in the future.
Yeah.
People are probably fucking aliens. You worried about what color their skin is or what sex they are? I mean, Jesus Christ, we got bigger problems 300 years in the future.
Some people are having trouble with tribbles in the future.
I know Riker and Kirk are just, they are just seeding the universe.
Wow. Now that's an image I'll never be able to get out of my mind. And on the flip side, there's also doing too much to overcompensate. I don't know if it's still being talked about, but I know at a time there was a lot of discussion about there being a black Superman. Nobody asked for that. We didn't ask for that.
No,
I would have to go out. I'm going to go out on a limb and just say that as a person of color, I do not believe that anyone of African American descent is clamoring for a black Superman. We don't care. Who cares? That's.
But I actually do want to counterpoint that only because they were going to base it off of the Superman from a different universe. So
that's fine. If you want a black Superman in an alternate universe, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying though. But everybody got all bent out of shape, and I'm like, guys, it's not even like technically, it's not even like prime timeline Superman. Like, it is a Superman from another universe. Get over it. You know what I mean?
Miles Morales.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Miles Morales is well, technically Peter Parker did exist in that universe too, but Miles Morales in their universe, 1816, I think. I don't remember what the universe of the Ultimate Universe is, but I mean, he took over for Spider-Man because Peter died. You know what I mean? Right? Good. Don't, like, I don't. The only reason why I don't like race swapping sometimes is because you can make a good character, original character like Miles Morales that is black. You don't have to say, this is black Peter Parker. No, you can say, this is Miles Morales. He is black and Hispanic, and he's a good character. You know,
I agree with you.
I feel like
Supergirl is basically
go ahead.
The girl Superman.
Yeah. No, right. Exactly. Listen, no one would ever say, hey, what about a white Black Panther? What are you talking
White
about?
Panther.
That doesn't even make any sense. You know, you're not going to do that. So we don't need to have a black Superman, but we could have a black Superman from another universe. Or
Sure,
it's kind of like Red Sun, right? It's like Superman lands in the Soviet Union. I mean, okay, we can do things like that.
there's a black Superman, but he's not Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Well, and getting back to your point, Jefferson, I'm going to point at you here, is they this woke label, it is true that they do overcompensate. It's like, why does every other commercial I have to see have to have a black man and a white woman, or a white woman and a black man married? Why do we always have to have? It's like every single company thinks, oh, now we have to have an interracial couple in our commercials. Well, not everyone has to, because most people aren't interracial couples. It's totally cool, but you don't have to have it in your commercial. And now we're inundated with it because, we want to be, politically correct. Okay, that's too much, guys.
Yeah, and now you want to rename sports teams where the people you think you're offending don't give a shit, and
I must be living in a cave. I just found out the Cleveland Indians are no longer the Cleveland Indians.
Oh yeah, they're the Guardians now.
First of all, stupid name, just kind of like the Commanders. Cleveland Guardians, that's dumb. Second of all, what's wrong with Cleveland Indians? Okay, the red-faced Indian logo, gotta go. I get it. But Cleveland Indians, first of all, if I'm the guy that owns the Cleveland Indians, I'm like, I'm sorry, motherfuckers. I ain't changing Cleveland Indians. Want a more appropriate logo? Let's get the Native American people to design the logo that they want us to use. How's that? That's fine. But it's been the Cleveland Indians for 150 years. I'm not freaking changing it. Atlanta Braves. Well, you can tell me I change Braves. What are we doing? We're honoring Indian culture.
Kansas City Chiefs.
You don't need to change it because the left wing, and I'm part of the left. I'm a lefty, but the left wing, there's this fraction over there that wants to bitch and moan about everything. It's like, no, we don't need to change that, guys. So anyway, let me get on.
I just want to respond to a comment on NerdTube really quick. Zamir, you are Asian. You are not Indian. I mean, you are Indian, but he always claims to be Asian, which he is. He is Asian. He's from his descent is from Asia. But I just had to give him some shit there for a second. So I know you're Indian. You always say I'm Asian, and I'm like, okay, sure, yeah.
Southeast Asia.
Yeah, southwest Asia, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. Just going through the comments to see. Frank Parker, how are you, sir? It's good to see you. Frank's our good friend from up the road in North Carolina.
There was a comment before, and I don't know if we want to address it, but somebody was asking if Star Trek Discovery is too woke, and I do have some thoughts on that. If you guys want to talk about that, I do not think Star Trek Discovery is too woke. I think that it is perfectly diversified, just like, just because the one white guy on the ship is gay does not mean it is not diversified. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this idea that Discovery is woke. I have some issues with the writing of some of Discovery, but that's
exactly my point.
That has nothing to do with what color the people are and what positions and what their sexuality is and what, all this, it doesn't matter.
No, I actually, again, looking for something different, having a gay couple in Star Trek. I enjoy that story.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Because it's like, oh, that's cool. They can show a gay couple. Great. Okay, that's Star Trek, right? Idic. I'm totally with you, Cheeto. I believe the problem with Discovery is the writing sucked. It had nothing. It just had nothing to do with woke. Black female captain. Great. What's the problem there? Replacing an Asian woman captain. Great. No problem with anything. Whatever is woke is not the problem with that show. It's shitty production design. It's shitty Klingons. It's shitty writing. Those were the problems with that show. And then trying to jam it down our throat to saying it's prime timeline. So I won't get off on that tangent again. So anyway,
the only colored individual I had a problem with in Discovery is the Red Angel. I just didn't like that storyline.
Oh,
you did?
Well,
The mystery. I liked the mystery at first, and I didn't like the resolution.
Oh, okay.
The mystery was fun.
Yeah, I had a fun time trying to figure it out, and then eventually I'm like, oh, it's just going to be the character's mother. It's not. It's just going to be some previous context that we weren't there for. I didn't like how it all turned out, but I enjoyed the ride trying to get there.
Yeah,
I think that the Indian or the Cleveland Guardians have now changed their names to the Cleveland Red Angels.
Oh no!
I am also from Ohio, just so you guys know. Me and Jefferson are from exact opposite ends of Ohio, but I am also an Ohioan.
Well, both ends of the word Ohio are both an O.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so you both are on both ends of the O's.
I wonder if the Cincinnati Reds are on the chopping block to change their name, depending on how someone interprets Reds in
I don't even know what
the Reds.
Listen, Johnny Depp called. He wants the Oilers to change their name because he thinks it represents his oily hair.
Val, it's good to see you, Val. Glad you're back. We'll touch base offline. I guess we're gonna have to endure season 5 of Discovery.
Season 3 and 4 I've actually liked.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they were great, but I liked season 3 and 4. I think they fixed a lot of the problems that the first 2 seasons had.
Yeah, I like season 3. I didn't watch season 4 yet.
Oh, season 4 is good. I like it. Some people say it's not as good as season 3. Some people, I think actually season 4 is a little bit better. But regardless, it still suffers from some of the same writing problems of the first 2 seasons. But it's far more Star Trek-y than for seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Paramount's the head name now. They're figuring out that fans want their Star Trek to be a little bit more Star Trek-y.
Yes, but we're not going to get Star Trek Legacy. We're going to get Starfleet Academy because Kurtzman wants it. And
then eventually they will do Star Trek Legacy after time goes by. No, I never believe a no, because eventually time passes and they need something. Oh, everyone's been asking for this. Let's give it a green light. I mean, there wasn't supposed to be a Pike series, but all the fans really liked the character, so they came out with a Pike series.
And I've given Kurtzman credit for it for Strange New Worlds.
And me and Zam over on NerdTube, we actually get a lot of crap for championing for Alex Kurtzman. We agree that the stuff that they were coming out with initially was not good. But if you look at the trend, they have, as I said, Discovery seasons 3 and 4, Picard season 3. Lower Decks, although I know Jefferson's going to disagree with me, almost all the seasons of Lower Decks has been excellent. Prodigy, not a terrible show, but still.
I hear there's a lot of people who just love
They
Prodigy.
love it.
Yeah. And that's fine.
It's the most Star Trek of all the Kurtzman.
Yeah. And then what would there and Strange New Worlds. So I mean, you have
fantastic.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge the fact that yes, like everyone hates on Kurtzman, but like they're
trying to improve.
They've been listening to the fans. Like they've been steering the ship the right direction.
Yes, they have. I absolutely agree. Although I don't think anyone really needs Section 31 movie, but okay.
I'm glad it's a movie. I'm glad it's going to be a movie, and it's not a a 10 episode season. And I think that is something that they should look into doing more of, is doing the streaming movies. There's no reason not to. And hopefully if Section 31 goes well, then they'll take some of these things like we could use some streaming movies to break up the the commitment of doing these 10 episode seasons. Let's get something that is a 2-hour streaming movie. That's no brainer.
Plus, it'll be way cheaper than doing a full season.
Right.
Well, but I think if they do, I think they are talking about the budget with these streaming movies, because you look at Disney Plus with some of their special editions and stuff like that they did. They've put movie money into it. Now, if Paramount doesn't put movie money into it and they put like episodic movie into it, then maybe it might be financially safe. But the problem with a lot of the Marvel,
they're still using all that in-game money that they got. There's that. And on the Paramount side, we don't have that. Mm-hmm. We don't have anything that was. The Disney will be making stuff off that money from in-game for a long time. Yeah, that's where all this is coming from. That's why they've got all the stuff they're putting out.
And listen, you got to give Marvel credit for realizing they needed to wake up and make some major changes. They did, because Quantumania was just not a movie that needed it's and my feeling on Quantumania is like, you didn't need to spend $300 million on that movie. Mm-mm. Like, okay, make that movie for $150 million and we're fine. But it's like, they how, considering how legendarily bad Marvel is with dealing with their VFX teams, they could have done a lot less VFX. Made the movie for a lot less money, and it probably would have been as good, if not better.
I actually am of the camp saying that Kang ruined that movie, not because the actor was bad, but because it felt like they shoehorned that villain in. Whereas I was more looking forward to like a quasi comedy adventure in the quantum realm. Have Bill Murray as the main villain, and just go with that. Like, you didn't need Kang. Like Jonathan Majors, although all the controversy aside, did a great job with Kang. Yes. Still, I felt like that entire movie was just overinflated, and it didn't need. Look at Deadpool. Deadpool 1 had a $30 million budget, $30 million, and they made they multiplied their take home on that one. Yeah. You honestly, a lot of times when you throw more money at it, it gets less of a soul.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, listen, we're at the end of our time. We want to thank everyone for coming out. We don't want to keep talking. We're going to run out of things to say next week.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everyone for coming out. Cheeto, it's good to have you on the Axanar channel. JP's been here before. JP, good to see you. I hope everything's going well in the middle of freaking nowhere where you live.
There's all kinds of great stuff out here.
And Jeff, it's good to see you as always. So listen, everyone. As I've mentioned before, the most important thing you do is sign up for the Axanar newsletter down there. Go there, sign up for the newsletter. That way you get all the information about what's happening. So that way you don't come onto this channel and piss me off by saying, when's Axanar coming out? Because you're not reading anything. So there you go. That's when Axanar is coming out. You'll find out when you read. But listen, thank you so much, everyone. We're having a good time doing this. Hopefully, we've seen so many new faces today, and our friends from all over. We got South America, we got New Zealand, we had Australia, we had England, Scotland.
Ventura, California.
Oh yeah,
I'm originally from Ventura County, so I know Ventura very well.
Yeah, and we have someone
Frank,
from Santa Barbara.
Going timeout. Send Frank to timeout. He just asked when is Axanar coming out.
Oh, geez.
Timeout for you.
He's just excited.
All right, everyone. Listen, thanks so much. Come back next week, and we'll see you. And then this Friday we'll have something. If not Axanar Confidential, we'll have another Axanar After Dark. All right. Tell all my friends, thank you so much for coming out. Everyone, you take care. Live long and prosper. And Jaloja.
Jaloja long and prosper. Zip.